Minor intervals. In this video, we're going to go over the minor intervals, which are basically flattened versions of our major intervals. So this is a major second, flatten at a half step, minor second, major third, flatten a half step, minor third. Major fourth, perfect fourth, that doesn't actually have any flat because it just becomes a major third if you flatten it because there's no black notes separating here. Our major perfect fifth, flatten it, we get a minor fifth, also known as a tritone. Major sixth, flatten it, we get a minor sixth. Major seventh, flatten it a half step, we get a minor seventh. So we have 5 minor intervals that we're going to learn about in this video. So let's go through them now individually. Starting at your root, to create a minor second, we just move 1 half step from the root. And again, we can look at this in reference to our major second as well. Moving down a half step, we're left with this very small interval. And the sound of the minor second is very dissonant and quite tense because the notes are so close together. So this interval is used to create tension. If I was to create this here, I would just go up a half step. Here, go up a half step. And the song that is good for remembering this would be the Jaws theme song. So it's actually played down very low. But I'll just play it here for reference. Or we can think about the beginning of For Elise. So just that initial melody is the minor second. Next, our minor third. So our major third is here, flatten that, we get a minor third, and that's 1, 2, 3 half steps from the root. I would say its sound is quite pensive, serious, and quite dark, but also romantic. I mean, the minor interval is really lovely, and it is used to create a sense of sadness and melancholy, but it can also be used in a very romantic way that isn't necessarily sad. And if I was to create that here, just move 1, 2, 3 half steps from the root, or here, 1, 2, 3 half steps from the root. And the song I used to help remember this interval would be the Spider-Man theme song. You might think of a different one, but this is the one that stuck with me. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, and so on. Next, our minor fifth, which is a tritone. And the reason it's called a tritone is that it's a distance of 3 tones. A tone is just another word for a whole step. It's 3 whole steps, 3 tones from the root. 3 tones equals a tritone. And I would say this interval is quite ambiguous, a little bit whimsical, maybe slightly confused as well, but I do really like it. It has quite a magical quality to it, and if I was to create that here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps from the root, or here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half steps. And the song I used to remember this is the Simpsons theme. The Simpsons. So just those initial 2 notes creates a tritone. Next we have a minor sixth. So here we have a major sixth, go back a half step, a minor sixth. So this is a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 half steps from the root. And I would say its sound is quite dark, somber, not completely sad, but it does have a slightly more melancholic feel to it. Maybe because it helps create minor chords as well. And if I was to create that here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the song that I used to help remember the minor sixth is actually the Mamma Mia song. So at the very beginning you have and it just goes on in that manner. So here we have a perfect fifth, so it also helps to remember that one. And then the next one was a minor sixth. And lastly, we have a minor seventh. So here we have a major seventh, which is 1 half step, 1 semitone down from the root. So I flatten that and I get a minor seventh. And I would say this sound is quite bluesy. You're definitely going to hear it a lot in blues music. It's just a characteristic, this interval. So you do hear that a lot. And it also sounds like it wants to lead somewhere that it's not resolved yet. So it does kind of have a feeling that it wants to be resolved as well. If I was to put that here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think an easier shorthand way of doing it would just be to think it's a whole step or 2 half steps down from the next root. So that would be an easier way just to locate it, but also it's good to know how you would actually create it, how many intervals are between. And that is all of our minor intervals that we're going to learn about. So again, as I mentioned in the major interval video, if you invert it, it becomes a different interval. So if I have a major second here, if I put that D down here, I'd now get a new interval, a minor 7 starting on D, because here we only have 1, 2 half steps, but now we have a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you do get different intervals when you invert it, and the interval is always built on the lowest note. The only one that does remain the same is actually the tritone. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if I go back 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that makes sense because I said before there's 12 piano notes, so halfway is 6. So that makes sense that it's, halfway through and it's the same interval. How I would practice these, again, it would be the exact same way as the major intervals by just constructing intervals on each of the 12 notes. So here on C, and then the same thing with minor thirds. Same thing with tritone. And the same thing with the minor 6th and the minor 7th. And also you can challenge yourself and start doing it in random places, because I know it's a little bit easier when you're just moving a half step distance each time, but maybe you want to go here and create a tritone. So think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then do it here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then eventually you're going to get faster at it, and you're also going to recognize the sound of it. So this is again why the reference songs are important. You might want to take a root and say build a minor third on that, Spider-Man, spider, and then see if you got it right. Spider. And this is in a way just to make us all amazing singers, although I'm sure you're a beautiful singer anyway, and it's good to use your voice. But yeah, your voice is an instrument, your body is an instrument, and getting your voice involved in the process of making music is definitely going to make you a more intuitive musician, and it's also going to really help your ear to develop to sing those intervals back. On a final note, learning these intervals is going to really help us understand our chords, scales, melodies, ear training, improvising, arranging, and sight reading on a deeper level, because again, on the micro level, intervals is what's holding everything together.